So how this is going to work, we've got 3 tests: neat sipping, daiquiris, rum and cokes. We're going to pip each one in a blind tasting. You're going to see Mummy Barman doing the whole sort of spinneroonie. I haven't got a clue what I'm tasting, and I'm going to give you my verdict. Do you just buy cheap and cheerful supermarket own brand white rum, or do you spend a little bit extra on a name brand? So here we go, boys and girls. This is the most requested video over the last 6 months, and there will be a follow-up with the dark rum, because supermarkets do dark rum, but we'll do that in the future. We're doing the white rums at the moment. Let me introduce you to the runners and riders. In this really dodgy plastic bottle, we've got Morrison's. So these are all UK. For all you US viewers, these are UK rums. We've got no, well, let me just go through. So in the plastic bottle, we've got Morrison's, and I'm just going to net these out because you can buy these at litres and 70 cl. So bearing in mind, I've got a couple of cheaper ones. So I'm giving you a litre or a 70 cl price. So Morrison's, we're going for £15 a litre. All right, £15 a litre. So what, $21, right? So you've got that benchmark. So £15 a litre. We've got Tesco's white rum, £15 for that bottle. It's a litre. We've got Old Hopkin from good old Aldi at £10.29 for a 70 cl. They don't do it by the litre, so you're roughly talking, what, £12 for a litre, so about £3 cheaper. Then we've got down here M&S, Marks and Spencer's, posh stuff. Marks and Spencer's, we have got £13.75 for a 70 cl. So you could probably go up to, what, £16, say, for a little bit more expensive for a litre if they did it. They don't, that's why I've got that. And then down here, this is not plastic bottle, this is glass. We've got Sainsbury's, which is £15 a litre. So the big supermarkets, Morrison's, Tesco's, Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's, all pretty much the same price. I didn't go to Asda because it's a pain in the ass for me to get there from here. And all of these are Caribbean rums, except for the M&S one, which does proudly state Guyana on the front of the bottle. Now, if you've been following my Saturday and Sunday videos, the education videos, you will, the Caribbean rum, you will have known now that can literally be for anywhere. Most distilleries, whether they're Spanish origin, whether they're English origin, whether they're French origin, most distilleries do produce a shed load of rum that they sell off in bulk. So Caribbean could be anything. It could be the Dominican Republic, it could be Puerto Rico, it could be Trinidad, it could be Guyana, it could be anywhere. The only one we have knowledge of is the Marks and Spencer's one that says Guyana. And there's no giveaways here either as well, because they're all 37.5% ABV. Even the Guyana one, I was a little bit shocked when I saw that. I was expecting the Guyana one to be 40% ABV, but they're not. They're all 37.5% ABV. Now, the rums they are going up against is actually not these three. It's going to be those two, okay? We've got Duppy, because, again, most supermarkets in the UK sell it, and I've got it here. Bacardi, every supermarket in the UK sells it, and I've got it here. I was genuinely thinking I'm doing Havana, but it's a bit unfair because it's got colour to it. So, instead, what I've done, I've pulled out my favourite white rum in the blind tasting, and we've gone there, white. So the big difference is you have to get this online in the UK. You cannot probably ever get this from an off licence in the UK. It's very much online. But the Chairman's Reserve will be the big test, because at the grand scheme of things, that is the most expensive one. It's £25, $31, $32 US equivalent of, but £25 in the UK. The Bacardi will literally be, for a litre, you're literally talking like £16, £17, so only a few pounds more expensive than supermarket stuff. However, the Duppy white rum you can get from most supermarkets, and it is just about the £20 mark. I would have got Dead Man's Fingers, but I don't have it, I don't carry it. These are the rums that the white rums, those 3 white rums down there are the white rums I have for cocktail masterclasses. So the first test is neat tasting. I'm gonna roll Mummy Barman in there. She's gonna give these a whole jumble up, and we're gonna come in to a neat blind tasting. So the first test done, we've got the crackers out, we've got the water, neat tasting. as you will see now, we've got, what, 4 groups here. These 2 down here. So basically, favourites, you know, favourite, I think I could pretty much tell what they are. I don't know. This one's quite interesting. Sort of a lovely sort of vanilla-y kind of vibe to it. These 3, I genuinely can't tell the difference between those 3. You could, if you know, if someone put the same rum in there, I would totally be with you. And the same for these 2, but these 2 are very different to these 3. These 2 have almost got like they can't be. I don't think for 1 minute they can't be. They can be, but they've almost got like a cane juice vibe to them, a young agricole vibe to them. They can't be, but they have got that. So yeah, my favourite. Look, I'm going to put it out there. That's Duppy. That has to be Duppy. The raspberry and the mango note on that has to be Duppy on there, and I'm pretty sure that's Chairman's. Pretty sure. But this is the one that's confused me, because this is very different to everything else. Very different. And by that, I mean it's got a sort of a vanilla-y, coffee, chocolatey kind of vibe, whereas none of those do. So I would naturally assume, bearing in mind I know at least one of these is from Guyana, I would naturally assume that that's actually the Marks and Spencer's one. But anyway, let's find out. So I've got the numbers up there so I can remember what we've got. We've got down here number 8, which is Sainsbury's, okay, and we've got number 4, Morrison's and Sainsbury's. Interesting down there. Then we've got number 6, Aldi. We have got number 5, Tesco, Aldi and Tesco, and then we've got number 2, Bacardi. Honestly, I genuinely can't split those. Genuinely can't. Absolutely no way. Not a chance. Not a chance are you splitting those. I don't care if you've got a super palate. There is no way you are splitting those. So Aldi, Tesco and Bacardi are in there. I do think you can sort of say it's the nose. It is the nose. You do get cane juice, agricole vibes off the nose. You don't get it off the taste. You get it off the nose. So you can separate these 2 off. That one more evident than that. This one, what was this one? Number 8, Sainsbury's. Do you know what? This is quite interesting. Sainsbury's, the Caribbean Pearl. Let's give you a close-up on that one. The Caribbean Pearl. Blended and bottled in France for Sainsbury's. It doesn't taste like agricole, but the nose, the nose does remind me of agricole. Right then, so the big 3, and I would, it's kind of an unbiased, an unconscious biasness. Is that the right way to say it? You know, I'm pretty sure that's Duppy. I'm pretty sure that's Chairman's, which by, you know, if, you know, logically speaking, that has to be the Marks and Spencer's. That has to be the Guyana. Logically speaking, we shall find out though. Number 7, M&S, Marks and Spencer's. Number 1, Duppy, which means that's number 3, Chairman's Reserve. So the whole concept of that was, what were my favourites? My favourites were firmly up there because, you know, I could quite happily, do you know what? I'd quite happily drink any of those 3 neat. These, you know, they're all right. They're nothing spectacular. And these down here, yeah, no, I just wasn't loving those. But, you know, on neat tasting, you would go up here, you would upgrade. But how many of you drink neat white rum? The tests are going to be the daiquiris and they're going to be the Cokes. Right, when it comes to the daiquiri test, again, what you'll see is you'll see 4, let's go to this camera, 4 distinct groups. That's my favourite. Actually, probably more 5 distinct groups. That's my favourite. Spot on daiquiri, amazing daiquiri. That's a pretty close second. That's a really good daiquiri. I've got these, right? These are light years ahead of these, but this one is slightly better than this. Basically, how I've grouped these, this is interesting. It's not light, clean and crisp that I'd want off, like what I get off these. These are fantastic. I love those. Slight difference. This is more for me like the archetypal type of daiquiri, like clean, crisp, bright, but this one does make a fantastic sort of daiquiri as well. Kind of still light, just a little bit of difference. This one, basically the rum carries through. So I've done these all the same ratio, but the rum carries through a little bit more in this one. I've made sure that the sugar and the lime are exactly the same for all of these, but the rum does carry through a bit. These are a little bit cloying, a little bit, you know, they don't really do too much for me. These are only just a step up. So basically what I've got here, I've got 5 that are okay. They're not horrible. They're okay. And I've got 1 that's pretty good and 2 that are fantastic that I really love, but that one's better than that. I would naturally assume that the 2 down there, probably Duppy and Captain Morgan, Chairman's Reserve. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Chairman's. Sorry, Spiritman. But Chairman's Reserve and Duppy. The rest I genuinely have absolutely no idea about. I don't think I'm picking what was evident from the Marks and Spencer's one, the Guyana. I really don't think I'm picking that up this time. There's just one that's just better than the rest of these. So let's go for it. Let's go for these 3 down this end. So number 2, oh, Bacardi. Well, okay. That's not my least favourite. It's just in a group with these. So we've got Bacardi down there. 7. Marks and Spencer's. Okay. That's the Guyana one. Number 5, Tesco's. So Bacardi, Tesco, and Marks and Spencer's are in that bottom group. Interesting. No, I'm not a huge fan of El Dorado 3-year-old in a daiquiri. That might explain the Marks and Spencer's one down there. But that's interesting. So Aldi, Tesco, wasn't it? Aldi, Tesco. So 2. Hang on. Bacardi, 5. Bacardi, Tesco, and Marks and Spencer's. Bacardi, Tesco, and Marks and Spencer's. Excuse me. All the gas coming out. Right. Let's do this second group. Only marginal step up. Number 8, Sainsbury's. And number 4, Morrison's. So Sainsbury's and Morrison's. There we go. Look at those. Both identical bottles. Remember that Sainsbury's one did give me sort of French agricole vibes. What number was that? Number 8. This one. I ain't picking that. No, it's a very different proposition to that. Look, do you know what? There's a hairline between those, literally a hairline. But this one's interesting though, because this one was actually, do you know what? It's not as good as those 2, but this was pretty decent. I've completely lost what we've got here. So where are we? Number 6. Aldi. Old Hopkin. Do you know what? I'd quite happily drink that. Do you know what? They're all decent. This one's just a bit better than decent. I'd quite happily drink that. And comparing to the Bacardi one, which one's Bacardi? Bacardi's number 2. Where's number 2 gone? There. You know, you can tell they're different. I prefer that. I dare say on another day I might prefer them down there, but I prefer that. So, as a daiquiri, Chairman's has been my favourite daiquiri. Has it still? I don't get the raspberry and the mango notes that you would inherently get off the Duppy Share neat off either of those. But one is, if I'm having a hunch, that is Chairman's because it is lighter. You can tell it's more column. Yes, Duppy. Probably, I don't know the DNA of Duppy. I know it's Jamaican, and you naturally assume Jamaican is pot, but I'm assuming there's a bit of column in that as well. I'm going for that, Chairman. I'm going for that. That's lovely. Give me that all flipping day long. But this ain't far behind it. I tell you, this is a really good daiquiri. And I'll be brutally honest, you know, not light years ahead of those. You know, the gap between that and that are marginal. The gap between that and that are huge, absolutely huge. So, in second place, what are we going for? Number one, Duppy. Number one, Duppy. Duppy is in second, which has got to be number three, Chairman's. Yeah, it had to be. This is just fantastic. Right, so when it comes to the rum and coke, we've got some very interesting results here because two of them are flipping nasty. No. There's a third one. Let's go to this camera. There's a third one here that's just marginally better. So I'm not rating those two rum and cokes at all. They are ethanol-y. They are, yeah, just not loving it. That's marginally better. These two are marginally better than those. I potentially drink them, but you would physically tell that they're just not great rum and cokes. They're really not. So they are marginally better, but not great. And then we've got these three. That's my favourite, hands down. That is lovely. That is proper lovely rum and coke. This one, again, is slightly different. But again, a lovely rum and coke. And this one, nowhere near as good as these two, but miles better than those five. Miles better. Interestingly, I'm going to put this out there. I get vanilla-y, subtle vanilla-y kind of coffee chocolate notes off that one. I think that, I'll be honest, I don't know which one's Chairman's and which one's Duppy, but the only one, potentially one I might be able to pick, that may be the Guyana from Marks and Spencer's. There's no last place, there's just a group of three at the end. So we have got number two, Bacardi. That's nasty. That is, honestly, they are poured, they are measured exactly the same. So there is no, there's no variance. It's just exactly the same amount of rum, exactly the same amount of cola. There's no variance. That is just, when you compare that to that, that's just 10's an under exaggeration, under exaggeration. 10, 20, 25 times better than that. That is just not great at all. So that's Bacardi. Wow. Number 8, Sainsbury's. And number 5, Tesco. Wow, okay. All these supermarket ones, so changed it about quite a lot. So Tesco, Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's was the one I thought may have had like French influence. Neat. But Tesco, Sainsbury's and Bacardi, all down there. They are not great. They're really not great. So the next little clump up, number 4, Morrison's. And number 6, Aldi. Morrison's and Aldi. Okay, so we have got the big three here again. Well, M&S. But we have definitely got Duppy. We've definitely got Chairman's. We've definitely got the Marks and Spencer's there. But let's just, okay, we can sum up here before we go any further. Look, if you're a Bacardi person, if you love Bacardi, stop wasting your money on Bacardi and spend less money. Go to Aldi, go to Tesco, go to... Look, in the rum and coke, look, Tesco and Aldi, for me personally, there ain't any difference. They are, all three of those, not great. I've got a sneaky suspicion, I'll look back through, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that both of those pitted better for a daiquiri. You ain't going to drink this sort of white rum neat. I know that, but I do. I'm weird. I like that sort of stuff. But yeah. Wow, that's really shaking me. And what were these? These were number 4, and so Morrison's and Aldi, wasn't it? Morrison's and Aldi. So, look, I've got to put it out there. The old Hopkin, £10. £10 for that compared to Okay, so let's get these three. These are definitively in that order. That is cracking. That's really good. That is really good. Better than those, but nowhere near as good as those as a rum and coke. So let's go for it. Number 3, Chairman's. My favourite neat and my favourite daiquiri isn't my favourite rum and coke. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Second place, 7, M&S. So that's the Guyana one, which means that's number 1, Duppy. Wow. So, okay, I know exactly how I'm going to sum this video up. Right. The questions I get all the time. Are supermarket rums, okay, for like £15 for a litre, 11, £12 for a 70 cl, should you buy it? Look, if Bacardi White is your go-to rum, stop buying it, save yourself some money and swap to a supermarket owned brand. I promise you, you will not tell the difference. You absolutely won't tell the difference. All right. Now, for me personally, and I know everyone's palate, look, the Tesco's, the Sainsbury's, the Aldi, the Morrisons, they are pretty much identical to your Bacardis. They are. The difference is the Marks and Spencer's one. The Marks and Spencer's, because that is Guyana, and Guyana rum, I'm going out on a limb here and sort of kind of, you know, because these rums could come from anywhere. Caribbean, they literally could come from Guyana, from Trinidad, from Barbados. They could come from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, from mainland, like Panama. Yeah, they could come from anywhere. They literally could. But I'm putting it out on the limb that those rums really don't taste that much difference to Bacardi. The difference one, the supermarket brand that is different is the Marks and Spencer's one. And yes, that is a little bit more expensive than those ones, but you get what you pay for. So, to sum up this whole video, is it value for money to spend 11, 12, 13 pound on a supermarket rum, or should you spend a little bit more? Look, this is where I go. Now look, neat and daiquiri, Chairman's Reserve for £25 has smashed it for me. Absolutely smashed it. But when it came down to the rum and coke, the Duppy, which is under £20, Duppy share, which most supermarkets carry as well, under £20, is vastly superior to all supermarket owned brands, vastly superior to Bacardi. Makes a really, really good daiquiri. All right, not my favourite daiquiri, but a really good daiquiri. Do you know what? The way I'd potentially recommend you going, look, if daiquiri's your thing, go to Chairman's Reserve. But as an all-rounder, the Duppy really does, you know, under 20 quid, it's an all-rounder. It nails it.